Okay, looks like we're all set. Let's get this show on the road. Let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I know that I did. Watched a lot of sports with my son and just kicked back. Really enjoyed the weekend. Beautiful day, wonderful to go out for a walk and whatever. So, enjoying these last summer days here in southern France. So anyways, my friends, as you notice, we have nothing on the wall. That's for the very good reason that our canvas is on the floor. Let's go over to the computer, check out what we did on Friday and why our painting is on the floor. So let's check out a quick recap. Why is that? Well, what we did with our painting is that we masked off the center circle, put our canvas on the ground, masked off all four sides, and as you can see, we just started splattering our beautiful green turquoise, a darker kind, and then on top of that a lighter kind, and then just a little bit of black on top of that. So what are we going to do today? Well, today we are going to obviously put our canvas back on the wall. And I'm going to do that right now before we decide what else we're going to do. So let me just go over like this, bring this baby up here, put it back right where it was before. Thanks to the marks that are on the wall, I can see exactly where I was. And I'll try to keep this to be as straight as possible. I am still going to step back and check it out, make sure that it is still nice and straight, that the edges are nice and vertical. Looks like I spilled some water here. No big deal. So is this nice and straight? The top looks pretty good, but it looks like I'm a little bit high here. Okay, so I am just going to bring this down a hair, just like that, just a little bit. And whoops, that didn't work very well. There we go. And right here, this corner's down. There we go. And one last one down here. There we go. So what are we going to do today? Well, I was thinking of splattering some flowers on these, well, what would be called branches. So I was thinking of starting off with some yellow and on top of the yellow doing some white. So that is what I'm going for. So I'm not going to waste very much time. This is going to be obviously a short stream because once I do that, well, okay, let's start off with that and then we'll see afterwards where we're at. I'm just going to step back for a second and kind of look at this painting. I haven't seen it really on the wall, so okay, very good. So I guess I can do that. I guess I'll do that then. So let me get a little palette here together. Like right here, grab some yellow paint. And so I hope I'm not going to have too much problems today because for those of you following my streams, you've noticed that the last few weeks I've been having problems with one of my cameras. They keep going out of focus. And then no matter if I put it in automatic or in manual, it would lose focus. So what I did, in fact, today is that I inverted my two cameras. My camera number one now is over here. And that is the one that was giving me trouble. But since it's not moving around and it's basically a fixed camera, I'm hoping it won't give me a hard time and lose its focus. And the other one, the one that was here, camera number 2, has become camera number 1. So I hope that that will take care of my focus type problems. I looked at some cameras on the internet to buy a new one, but I couldn't find the model that I had here. They're obviously obsolete now. And the other models are like $500-600. And I don't want to pay that kind of money for a camera that's in use maybe 4 or 5 hours a week. So there's no way I'm going to spend that kind of money, at least not until I find something, another replacement. What I basically need is an HD camera that goes to 1080. And then besides that, what I need is an HDMI output on the camera. That's all I need. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I totally forgot, but I did think about this weekend, is that I do have a regular shutter type kind of camera, a Nikon. And that camera that I don't use anymore and might have a HDMI output to it, and I could use that. I haven't thought of that. I'm going to have to, that's a good point. I'll think about that and get into looking into that camera maybe if this one gives me trouble, if I lose the focus. So far it looks pretty good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't have any problems. Now, my first question is, do I have enough paint to do the flowers that I want? And I think I do. And eventually I'm going to have to paint on white to get rid of this splattering that's on my frame down here, because I'm not sure what color the frame will be. Of course, if I was going to paint it black, it wouldn't matter. Maybe I'll just wait and see what color I'll decide to go for and then paint it or not. Anyways, all these little questions. It is Monday morning and I am a little rusty. Got to get back into the groove. But I am happy. I was psyched to be here this morning. I'm always psyched on Fridays to go home for the weekend. And then on Mondays, I'm always happy to be back in the studio. I must say, I do love being in the studio. Even if I'm not painting, I come here and hang out, see my friends. Since we have an entire building of just studio spaces, or many other artists here. And I just come to, shoot the shit with them and hang out when I'm not painting. So anyways, always happy to be back here. So what am I doing here? I just, there we go. Just clean off this brush. I'll clean it better with some soap later, but I just put it in 3 different jars of clean water, and that should be good. Okay, so what am I going to do? Okay, I'm just going to step back for a second, check this out. Then I'm going to bring also this camera a little closer because this is going to be our new guy. And so I think I'm going to start right here. So why don't I bring this and zoom in right away? There we go. And I'm going to just switch over to camera number 1. And let's start making our little flowers here. Just like that. That's going to be the background to the flowers. Like I said, I would like to put white paint on top of that. I'm going to keep these small if possible. I want these to look like they're just random on the canvas, but of course, there has to be a balance to the whole thing. Just like that. There we go. So far, so good. Looks pretty good. I think I need one right there. There we go. Now, let's move over a little bit to the right here. And I'm going to start with the top part. There we go. Up there, let's go with that area there. We'll work our way down. Right in there. Another one right there. Good. Okay, so let me step back for a second, take a look. Pull the camera back so we can have an overall view of the whole thing. That looks pretty good. I just see one more area here, right in here, that needed a flower. And I think one more way up in here as well. Let me move the camera over. Right in that area right there. Definitely needs one more. Right there. So what does that look like? It does look like I need one more right here, right? Just like that. Step back for a second. That looks pretty good. I think maybe I could use Just one more right here. Right there. So how does that look? That looks pretty good. Very good. So and I guess we'll leave it at that. I'm going to just, I think, add some, well, I'm going to think about it. What I'm going to do right now, though, is go over to my kitchen sink and wash my yellow fingers, my yellow hands. So let's do that. Right, now go back over here. There we go. So, what to do now? So I said I was going to go with some white paint on top of the yellow. And now I'm kind of debating if I shouldn't go with a lemon yellow instead on top of the yellow. What would that do? I'm going to just take a second to think that out. As I do that, I will wipe clean the yellow paint that's on my right here, just so it doesn't influence or change anything. Just clean off a little bit of the splattering that spilled over. There we go. Just because I have no idea what I'm going to do in those areas. Whoops. It would help if the cloth was clean. Go. So, what am I going to do here? Am I going to use this, or am I going to go with my first instinct, which was white paint? So I'm going to have to just step back for a second and think this out. I have no idea what to do on these guys. So I'm still thinking this out, trying to see what my eyes and my brain sees and wants to see when it's finished. And I think I'm going to go with my initial instinct, which was white. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. So let's come back over here. I put away this lemon yellow, which I never use. Don't like that color all that much. I'll get all these other paints out of the way. And let me grab a little palette right here. There's a palette with white paint in it. That's perfect. Look at this acrylic paint, just peels right off when it's dry, just like that. Of course, because the binder is a polymer emulsion, so it's basically plastic. So if you're on a non-porous surface, the paint just peels off and you end up with a brand new palette, which is pretty cool. There we go. So let me get my white paint out and I'll do the same thing as before. And I assume I'll need just about the same amount, same quantity as that I had before. There we go. Probably made a little too much there, but it doesn't matter. And let's clean off our knife like we usually do. Keep the materials clean. Oopa. Okay. Where's that brush I used earlier? Right to here. I guess I'll use that to add some water to our white paint so it's nice and, what is the term? Splattable. Oh, look at that. Long hair. Disgusting. God knows where that came from. So let's just get the right consistency to this paint so it will splatter on the way it should. And I'll try to speak English rather than invent words that don't exist. There we go. So far everything is working out pretty good. It was nice to be able to zoom in on camera number 1 without having to worry about it going out of focus. So there we go. I got my paint right there. I don't think I'm going to have enough. Oh, I'll start off with what I have. Okay, so let me just go back here a second and check this out. Okay, I am going to take a second to think about this. Just going to kick back maybe for a second, have a glass of water. Because I'm not sure I want to I'm worried that the splattering is going to be too much. That maybe I could knife on the white paint. You know what? I'm going to try something with this white paint. Okay, I'm going to try it on this upper left-hand flower. So let me just move the camera over a little bit and I'll zoom in way up there so you can see exactly what I'm going to try to do. Right in there. I'm going to try to, I don't know if my paint isn't, maybe it's a little too liquid for this. So let me just switch over cameras and we'll check it out. Just thinking of maybe just adding a little bit of white like that. And not really splattering it on. I'm going to try it just below on the flower, just below that. Let me pull this back like that. I can do it on several of them. See, it's a little more discreet than if I was splattering it on. So, and I'll zoom in on quite a bit on this one right here so you can see it even better. Plus it'll give me materials for editing the movie afterwards. Just like that. So it is a lot more discreet than if I splattered the white paint. And I kind of like this effect. More subtle. Very good. Very good. So let me come to these lower guys down here. And actually, I'm going to grab my chair to be comfortable. Important to be in a comfortable position. Here, let me bring the camera a little closer. I guess I'm out of range or whatever. And a little more, just like that. It's very good. Very good. I like that. So let me just move my chair over a little bit. Get these lower guys. Bring the camera over as well. Just like that. camera over. I'm not sure it's following me, that's why. Oh, where is this camera at? Okay, we got to go up a little bit. Right about here. Not, where's my finger? Okay, we're working on this guy here. Just like that, very good. Next guy up here. There we go. Well, I think that was a smart move on my part to have not splattered more of these colors. That just did the trick. Gave it just the right balance that we wanted between yellow and white. Very good. All right. Well, that is basically it for us today. Now, we have to tackle this part here, and I'm going to do that tomorrow because I have no idea really what I'm going to do. No idea. I have maybe a person that is always in my kind of favorite position. I was thinking of doing that. I always am, when I'm little, well, whatever, upset, I always go back to this one person that's on his knees and giving praises. So I have a feeling that's what I wanted to paint. I've been feeling that for several days, so I might do that. I'm just going to leave myself some time to think about it, and then tomorrow we can tackle drawing that and then started to paint, decide what kind of a background I'm going to put there as well. Anyway, so I'm going to think about all that right now. And then, well, I guess we'll continue tomorrow. So, it's been a very short stream, 34 minutes. It's a good way to start off the week. Nice and easy, smooth. So anyways, my friends, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll join me tomorrow as well. We'll be here at 9 a.m. Eastern time, or 3 p.m. if you're in Europe, in France at least, okay? So once again, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to leave you like usual with two things. The first one is my schedule, and the second one is by saying, ciao mes amis.